Oh, now it.
Take two. we thought we were live and we were having this amazing conversation. So I'm Tiffany Cano with the Knowing You Show. We have fabulous Fabienne Raphael here with me today. She's a former pro athlete who has turned her career into an inspirational speaking career and helps other pro athletes do the same. And then she also works with the everyday entrepreneur and coach to also up level their ability to speak and be present and contribute to a greater audience. And she and I just laugh and giggle. I mean, we just spent like 5 minutes laughing, thinking we were live, and we weren't.
That's funny though. But I feel like there are key elements that we need to share.
Okay.
The first thing that I mentioned, that fabulous, I think it's actually the first time someone calls me that, and I have plenty of nicknames. So congratulations.
Yes.
The second thing we shared was about one of your clients calling you Tiffinator.
Yes.
I loved it. And then we came up with an idea of a t-shirt to give all your clients. I've been Tiffinated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I, relentlessly, lovingly seek and destroy those saboteurs. And now my clients can get one soon to be published, a TV, a t-shirt or some sort of apparel that's like, I've been Tiffinated.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Under the influence of.
Yes. Yes.
Oh God. Okay, we're going on a tangent, but I mean, it's all worth it. It's all
Oh,
fun.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So when we're speaking and we're bringing that joy, it's obviously going to magnetize clients and
Definitely.
students to us. So I think it's all good.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I know you didn't start here in the speaking world. You started as a pro athlete. So tell me how you bridged that gap and what
Woo.
inspired you to do that.
Oh my God. Wow. You have how many minutes here? No, I'm kidding. First of all, my journey as an athlete started in high school. I was 12 years old, and one teacher came to me and she said, "You're good in sports. You should try the handball team." And I said, "What's handball?" She said, "Try it out. You'll see what it is." And that's how my handball journey started. And 7 years later, I got my invitation to join the Team Canada. And I was very intimidated because I was still very young. And I did one practice, and as in the in the sports world, I choked. I told the coach, "I'm not ready. It's not for me." And then it took a year. It was the Atlanta Olympic Games '96. I heard
Mhm.
Celine Dion sing "The Power of the Dream," and it gave me chills. And I rethought about the invitation, and I was like, what if this is an opportunity I have to seize? Like, what if, this is meant for me? And
Yeah.
I called my coach and I was like, if you still have a spot for me, I'll take it. And he was like, yeah, come. And I got started, and I stayed on the team for about a decade, a little bit more than a decade. And I would say that the sports journey is kind of like a booster of life experience, challenges to overcome, people to deal with, teamwork, because you have to be able to accept everyone in the name of the goal,
Mhm.
and being able to put your differences aside in the name of the goal. So I learned a ton of things, like life wise. Of course, I grew. While I was an athlete, I studied physical therapy, and I graduated as a physical therapist. So I worked for a long time in healthcare, as an employee first, and then as my own boss. And it's, I think it was like mid 2010, 2013, went to a marketing conference, discovered digital marketing and coaching. I was like, oh my God, like this seems to be something that I would love to embrace and learn more about. So
Mm-hmm.
of course, like everyone working online now, I took a gazillion of courses. I invested in myself. I I was trained by so many coaches in different aspects of the business, but also in the mindset. And eventually, yes, I was able to start helping people with the same thing with their businesses. And I would say like now I'm really, really focused on helping those former pro athletes or people who feel that they aim for more and have that story within them and want to share it with the world. Because I say that everyone is, you know, that also everyone's unique and everyone
Mm-hmm.
needs to showcase their uniqueness, first of all, to realize how powerful their voice is and they are, and how powerful they are, but second of all, the impact that they can have on other people. So I always say, like, when you decide to silence something very meaningful or
Mm-hmm.
silence your story, you're preventing yourself not only to discover how much impact you have, but also you're preventing others to be influenced by your message. So, in a
Mm-hmm.
nutshell, like, I hope this wasn't a too long of an answer, but let's say that's it.
So, what about people who are on the shyer side? Like they think, oh, that could be good, but they're more shy.
So the thing about being shy, so first of all, I wasn't always outgoing like this. There was a long period in my life where I felt better hiding in a corner or not being noticed if I was in a room. And so I know I know what you mean because that's where I come from. And I feel like what made the shift for me, first of all, was the work on myself. So surrounding myself with people um, who were doing it before me, and also reading and being very conscious on my personal development. So me as a person, and then realizing how focus on the people I want to influence instead of focusing on myself. Like having a greater vision than the one like very selfishly being too close to what I feel, how I'm going to do this, or do I have the skills and stuff, but thinking, what if I share that message? What if I teach? What if I share this? And what impact can it have? And then just like also realizing that it happens one person at a time. Sometimes people get scared because they're like, I'm on stage or I'm doing an interview, I'm doing a live stream, I'm looking at a camera and a ton of people are watching. But what if you imagine that you're only talking to that one person looking at you right now, like listening carefully
Mm-hmm.
about what you're saying? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're having a cozy conversation and you're just sharing authentically who you are and what you have to share. And I mean, I've heard this many times, like some people, they had no clue how much of an influence they have. And I'm sure that you do receive these types of messages. It happens to me sometimes on social. Someone messages me and it's like, you know what you wrote today, I really needed to hear this. Or, and
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily someone who will become a client or someone who's been following for a long time, or maybe that person has been,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not aware of it because they never comment. But then that one day you said that one thing and it had an impact in their lives. So, I mean, that's for all these reasons. I feel like whatever you
Mm-hmm.
have to say or share should never be silenced. Like, of course, there are
And
things that are very precious and, confidential or close to your heart, but there are other things that are worth to be sharing, definitely.
and what about the people who are doing some sharing? Maybe they're, on the hobbyist side, or maybe they're, like doing smaller groups or speaking in some events, but really want to go up level themselves and be like a keynote speaker and getting paid for speaking. Like, how do you bridge the gap there?
Okay, so I don't know if this is where I can invite people to my workshop,
Go
but
for it, sweetie, because I think everyone should attend.
yeah, so I'm hosting a workshop on March 6th, so it's in 2 days with my colleague and great friend Ron Ben Joseph, and it's called From Whispers to Wow. So we're going to teach you how to ignite your audience with the power of your story and how to showcase your uniqueness and stand out not being like a boring speaker or someone who like that no one remembers because your speech was boring or it didn't relate to the people listening to you. So it's happening March 6th. I think we can put the link in the comments below right after this interview. I'll put it. And it's
I
bit.
already did. It's
Oh, you
on the
did.
screen, baby.
Thank you very much. And just show up and see like how to make your story shine as it should. Because I feel like sometimes people, and again, exit the idea that your story is boring or you're different because you're not that popular or it's not worth sharing or whatsoever. I think like there's actually a way to share your story, a unique way to do it, to showcase your uniqueness and also make people relate to what you're sharing, but also like make them remember you. Because we all had these experiences at conferences where we hear some great speakers, some so-so, and some not great speakers. And
I
then you
re-
get out of there
I
and they're like, so who did you like? And then of course you remember those names, the ones you like. And then what about this one? I know you attended this. Oh, I don't remember her name or his name or their name. I I have no clue what they said. I wasn't listening and stuff like that. So let's be part of the ones who stand out.
Yes.
Hmm.
So, in the From Whispers to Now, when is that?
It's March 6th, so Wednesday. It's at noon Eastern time, so 11 Central, 10 Mountain, and 9 Pacific.
Mm-hmm. And how long is it?
It's about 75 minutes to 90 minutes, and it's going to be amazing. The thing also that I'm very proud to do is to actually share this with a colleague, with Ron, because the energy is going to be different. I don't know if you've ever attended
Ooh.
like a workshop with like two people hosting at the same time, but Ron and I like we connect really on the energy, and we have these. Yeah, it's going to be a very special energy, and yeah, you have to come. You have to come.
So, who would you say, like, let's name off some types of people that you want to personally invite? Like
Okay. Yes. You said like, but I didn't
like
let you finish.
coaches, healers, people who would want to then step up their speaking opportunities.
Yes. So I would say, let's say small business owners who have a team. So it could be like 100 employees and less, and they want to go to that higher level and being seen more as an expert on stages. So they're looking to be on more stages. It could also be like coaches or consultants who have an expertise and who want to be seen more as an authority and being able to share their story on stage, or sometimes not necessarily on stage. It could be on podcasts, it could be on live streams, it could be in mastermind groups, but just having like this knowledge of knowing how to frame and how to share what you have to share for the people receiving it, so it makes total sense, but also that they're impacted and that they can do something with the information. So I'm way more like I really care about not only leaving an audience motivated, because we all know motivation will eventually subside. And what happens when they don't have motivation anymore? So giving them content for them to be able to take action on the transformation that you wanted them to have when they start listening to you and then at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Are there any little secrets or little tiny tips that you might be able to share even before Wednesday?
Oh, you're asking me to pull down the curtains. That's what
I
they say,
am.
right?
Can
That's
I take a peek?
that's French. Okay, so what I can share with you though is actually this will be a teaser. We're
Okay.
going to talk about how to differentiate a real speaker from an automated speaker. I won't say more than that.
That's it.
And yeah, that's it. And I'm silent because I want you to think about it. Because there is in the industry, unfortunately, and it's like that in coaching, in everything, I feel. Um, Sometimes, depending on the mentor that you have or the coach or what have you, it doesn't make you unique. It makes you a mini version of the person who's teaching you. And I'm really against that. And Ron is too. We're so against cookie cutter. And so,
I
and
I can't stand the cookie cutter either, honestly. It's not a happy place for me.
yeah. So yes, so we're going to share like really extensively like how to be a real speaker.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope I said enough. Like maybe you were expecting more, but
I
I
don't
can't spill
know.
all
I
the
didn't I
beans.
didn't have any expectations. I just wanted some fabulicious.
Okay. Here the word comes again. Oh, I love this nickname. Wow. I'm wondering like where would I use it? Yeah, I'll think about it. But I love it. Fabulous.
Okay, so for those who have not yet gone to that link, it is in the description of this StreamYard. It is in the comments and on the screen. So go to fabienneraphael.kartra.com /page/wow for From Whispers to Wow and up level your speaking career now. And what's another benefit to the speaker personally? Like money,
Yeah,
publicity, um, like
definitely.
let's
Yes.
let's talk benefits. I mean, cuz I speak, you speak, and it's not just I mean, I absolutely love contributing and being in the heart space and helping other people and facilitating healing, but we're also using it as a tool in our business, which can
Definitely.
directly help us to make ka-ching money.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So depending on which platform you are on or who you're speaking in front of, there's an opportunity for you to not only showcase your personality, but also share your message in a way that relates to some people. And then they'll want to know more about you. So, for
Mhm.
example, now we're on the live stream, and of course, we are promoting my workshop happening soon. So, people who feel related to that message, they'll go check the link, they'll register, and I'll see them on Wednesday. But on stages, sometimes you might there are stages where they're not paid, but you have the opportunity to sell from the stage. So there's an opportunity there to have people sign up for your programs or for your coaching or whatsoever. And there are other places where yes, you can get paid depending on who's like how much people are there, what they're paying. Then of course you can charge a fee and get paid to speak because your message has value. And I feel like sometimes people forget about that. They're like, oh, I'll just share it for free. Like, it's not always a good place to share your thing for free. Because what brought you there is not only your journey, but your education, your experience, your mistakes, your lessons learned, your experience with clients, or your other careers. All of
Mhm.
that can be taken into what you're bringing up on stage right now. So that has a lot of value. And I don't want you to ever like, I'll be closer there. Never forget about that. Never
Mhm.
underestimate yourself or lowball yourself and go like, oh, I'm not worth to be paid for this one. Or you're getting paid like not a
Mhm.
lot of money because you think that they are giving you, let's say, a privilege to be on that stage, but actually you are because of the person that you are and because of what you're going to share, especially if you position yourself as an expert. They will pay you for that.
Yeah, I mean, I've paid so much money. I would say over $500,000 in training to get to the level that I'm at, right? So it's like you're not just paying somebody to speak for a half hour or an hour, you're paying for every bit of time, energy, heartache, processing, releasing, up leveling that they had to do personally and professionally to get to where they are now. And that
Mhm.
takes a ton of energy and effort and money to get to that place.
Mhm.
For most people, I mean, we don't walk out of the womb and it's like I got a mic in my hand and I'm a superstar. It's like you gotta, like put in some
You got to train for it,
practice.
right?
It's like,
Yeah.
you're a former pro athlete. It takes practice. So does being a rock star, amazing, influencer on stage.
Yeah. That's also what I love to share with people, when they're like, "Okay, I don't feel fully ready." And it's okay to actually train yourself on those communication skills or on those ways to be able to amaze your audience whenever you're on stage, because
Mhm.
that makes you someone who cares about delivering great value and having an impact, a true and long lasting impact, right?
Mhm.
And it happens often, mostly like in those high achievers, the people who never feel that they are ready enough. At a certain point, you gotta do it. But I totally get it that yes, you should take the training first, and then being able to feel confident in those skills, and then you show up on stage and you just yeah, everyone talks about you because of what you said, how you shared it, and the emotions that you made people feel.
Mhm. It's always the emotions that I remember. It's like, "Oh, I felt, so much, divinity in that speaker," or I felt, um, such positive motivation and drive to want to change my life in some way. Like, we might not always remember the exact words that came out of the speaker's mouth, but we remember how we felt. At least the good speakers. We remember how we felt when they contributed.
The thing is,
Or
Maya Angelou she has a beautiful quote about that. People will forget what you said or what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And I have an example in mind. Like, I was giving a presentation at Carnival Corporation, and after my presentation, one of the many people came to me, but one in particular, he was like, when you shared this story about you and your coach, you thinking that your coach didn't like what you were doing or you weren't valuable for the
Mhm.
team, and then it was just a problem of communication and how you solved it. He was like, this made me relate to work, and this made me relate to, oh my God, like I do this sometimes, and maybe I should take a step back and have time to have a meaningful conversation with a person I think is, I don't know, talking about me or saying something about me that's not true.
Yep.
And these are the moments I live for. Like, whenever you have someone telling you, reflecting to you how your message influenced them or how they will see things eventually, or sometimes it's just a look. People are looking at you and you see it in their face, like something enlightens, or they're like, oh my God, like I didn't see it this way, and stuff like that. Like, all of that, it feels so good to
I
witness that.
love it. I love looking at the light bulbs that go off in other people. Um, I when I used to teach a lot of in-person workshops, which, I really haven't done that much since COVID, but I used to do before and after photos, like from the weekend workshops, and oh my lord, their faces were
Oh my
just
God.
like more youthful, happy. I mean, some of them literally looked 10 years younger after just a weekend with me,
Yeah.
So and then I started noticing it more on Zoom, like even in like an hour and a half, little master class or something, and seeing their faces change. I also did this experiment once. This was when I had a healing center. We weighed a client before and after a healing session, and she let go so much emotional baggage that literally she was like 3 to 5 pounds less after the session.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. No, I mean, it was really cool.
I love that story.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, my number one is like connecting with source. And then number two, how can I serve?
Yes.
You know? And by serving, sometimes it's speaking, sometimes it's, providing coaching or healing or just listening with love,
Yes.
right? All
Yes.
of that can happen when you're on stage,
Yes.
virtual or a physical stage. And some people make bank, you know? Like, can you just for like the wow factor, can you give like a couple of dollar sign digits of what's possible after they've worked with you?
Oh, okay. So, first of all, the whole thing about pricing, as you know, it's a mindset thing.
Yep.
So, first of all, you have to be confident that when you are going to ask for that price, this is a price you believe that you should be paid, and that you feel confident in it. So I
Mm-hmm.
could tell you 15,000, I could tell you 25,000, but if you take this and you're like, oh my God, for me, like, oof, I would rather be paid 1,000, then you won't be
Well,
paid
then,
25,000.
then you'll sabotage yourself and only be able to make 1,000.
Exactly. So it's all about also what you are willing to accept and tolerate and what you're not.
Mhm.
I am a strong believer that what you refuse to do, for example, if they are lowballing your value, and if you accept to do it, then you're telling the universe, well, I can I can tolerate this, right? But if you refuse and then your next offer is exactly what you were asking for, then you might attract way more of these opportunities than the ones that are lowballing you all the time.
Mhm.
So it's a question of not only believing in yourself first and in your pricing, but also like what you are willing to accept or not to accept. If you're
Mhm.
willing to speak for free all the time, then it might take you a longer time to finally be paid to speak because you'll be known as someone who doesn't charge to speak. So yes, a lot of people will take advantage of that. But
Mhm.
there's if you actually are very confident in your mindset and in what you charge to people, and you want to go for those 10, 15, 20, $30,000 for a presentation, it's possible.
Nice. And that's just the upfront. There are times when you can just get paid to keynote, and then there's times when you work it out with the promoter that you're able to sell your products, and then
Mhm.
the promoter gets a commission and you get a commission. And if you're a really great influencer from stage, then that could be thousands of dollars also.
Yes.
So the little bit of investment that you're going to make to, sign up from whispers to wow is so worth it. So sign up now. I'm going to put it in the chat or put it up on the screen one more time. Sign up, join Fabulicious on Wednesday and get wowed. Own your wow.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for helping me spreading the word about this.
My
Because
pleasure.
again, as we said, sharing your story is important because there's someone waiting to be influenced by it. Definitely.
Mhm. Thank you much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I love you all. See you on the
All
next show.